Thank you. Thank you for coming. Yeah, so I met Maggie online actually. We met online when she was discovering about Hong Kong entrepreneur, and that's the start. And then eventually we had opportunity to meet in person, and we had a great conversation and got carry on and got over time. So yeah, so welcome to be on our show today. And this is a show about mothers sharing their entrepreneurship journey. And I know your entrepreneurial journey start at a very young age. Maggie. You start your first business when you were 19.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more about that? Because that was really interesting.
So I've always been really active in high school, and I was really involved in music, super active. I had a bunch of scholarship basically. So what happened was bubble tea was kind of starting to be a trend in Orlando, Florida. And I just had a dream. I was just like, why don't I have a little place of my own so I can play music? So I was quite naive. I was, really young, around like 18, 19. I just told my friends, and the way I always have been is I say something and I just do it. I don't really think much about it. So I was driving around the city, and there was an area called Park Avenue. It's a really nice area. And I just fell in love with this one spot, and I called the landlord. I signed the lease without even thinking much, and I used all my scholarship money. It was like a multi 5-figure US dollar scholarship, and I was all in. And then that's how it happened. I just randomly became an entrepreneur without thinking about it.
So what did you learn from that? It's such a spontaneous ad hoc thing.
Yeah. So I recently wrote a post that was a lot of responses about it, because I actually met some of the greatest friends for life in over that 5-6 years. It started from a dream of just, a romanticized vision of me working in like a coffee tea place, writing music. So it started from that, and actually turned into, I learned the struggles of being an entrepreneur, a small business owner. It's a lot harder than we envision. There's a lot that happens of like learning how to manage a staff, numbers, how are we going to bring people in? It was a food establishment. So I ended up pivoting a lot. I turned it into a sake tea, like a bar house. It turned into a college bar because we were really close to this really cool university and really cool college. What I learned from it is perseverance of not giving up. I was there every single day. I didn't have a day off for like 6 years. Normally, I was just a kid that was randomly working at like different jobs here and there, having fun. So from those years, I learned what working really is and what a business is like. And I learned to be a really good leader, because you hit a lot of walls when at the first 1 or 2 years, like I didn't know what I was doing. And then slowly I realized how to become a leader and care for the staff and for the team. That's what I learned.
Okay, so you were in the States at that time. Then you came back to Hong Kong. I believe you were born in Hong Kong and then went to the States when you were very young. What brought you back to Hong Kong?
I think the internet's a little unstable. Can you see me? Can you see me right now?
Yep.
It was a little unstable. Yep. Yeah. So from that bar business, we scaled it into 2 other businesses, which is a Chinese little takeout and a jewelry store that we partnered up with different people. I just, for some reason, something in my heart just felt like, you know what, something needed to be changed. And I had the opportunity of my mom asking me to come back to Hong Kong for a visit. It was like a wedding. And a 3-week visit ended up becoming, I got married here. I just stayed here.
It was love. It was love that brought you back to Hong Kong.
It was love. Yeah, I met my little high school or puppy love sweetheart, and he convinced me to stay. And there was some opportunities in Hong Kong, and I got into finance. And I've never worked in a large corporate company before, so it was really intriguing. So my personality is quite adventurous as well. So I dropped everything, sold everything. And I was just like, I just stayed and took this opportunity here. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then from an entrepreneur, you're now a performance coach. How did that
Yeah.
happen? You
Yeah. So
pivot again.
yeah, shortly after my finance days, I had quite a big success over those almost 2 years. I just stopped working for a little bit because it was like a burnt out almost. I think I experienced a burnt out of 1 year, and then I started really investing in myself, and I had really good mentors and coaches and teachers to, you know, I had a lot of self-awareness of who I really wanted to be. I started serving the community a lot. I joined a organization called Jubilee, and they serve the
Mm,
poor a lot. Like they mainly serve the poor in Hong Kong. And from there, I took a course. It was a life coaching course, which changed my life. Um,
mm,
Coaching changed my life. And that's when I became an author, and I just really achieved all my dreams. Like I started just not really think about what people were saying. And I just started to go towards my dream one at a time. and
mm.
and I realized, you know what, coaching is really powerful. And that's when I started diving into getting certified, becoming an executive coach, and so forth. Yeah.
And that was the start. And
Yeah.
how do you think being a coach um help with your life being a mother? You're a mother of three daughters, and is there anything that any experience from being a coach that would help you to be a
Yeah.
mother, or vice versa?
Right. So I am a mom entrepreneur, right? That's why I actually
Mm-hmm.
reached out to you, Lena, because at the time, as a mom, I'm always juggling with feeling guilty, but then I also have many dreams that I wanted to achieve. As a coach, I learned a lot about self-awareness, being aware and alert with things that's going on in your mind, being more mindful of what's happening within our mindset, I guess. I think that has really helped me as a mom to coach myself out of the struggles and situations. Sometimes I step out of my own life and I'm just like, what would I say to me if I was the coach? And
Mm-hmm.
actually, my husband and I are both coaches. So we're both always just coaching each other out of just asking really powerful questions. That's what I learned. Just because sometimes people tell you an answer, say, hey, you shouldn't think like that. But the powerful thing about coaching is you have to realize it within your own. So they can tell you all the answers, but actually the truth is we need to be asked the right questions because we have all the answers within ourselves. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what coaching did for me. I found out the answers within instead of someone telling me the answer, because sometimes we're
Mm-hmm.
stubborn people. Mhm.
Yeah. And I guess this is a lot to do with being a mother or a parent as well, because our own children also have a lot, in themselves. They have
Yeah.
their own mindset, they have their own thinking, and there's just so much guidance or so much hand holding we can do. And at the end of the day, it's up to them to walk their life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's probably, personally, I think that has a lot of similarity between being a coach and being a mother or
Hmm.
being a parent. And so well, I guess being a coach as a business, it takes a lot of time as well. It's not something as easy compared to other business to be scalable. You
Yeah.
need to put a lot of time to it. How do you manage that, as far as being a mother of three daughters? You have
Yeah.
three girls, age, if I
Hmm.
remember correctly, 2, 4, 6, something like that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Two,
They
five,
just,
and 7.
yeah.
So I started my coaching journey in person a few years back. And recently I'm at my 1 year anniversary of being an online business coach, where um, a lot of my content is on Instagram, LinkedIn, and online. It's really hard to balance because when I shifted into the online space, um, you know how it works. Like with social media, it's longer than a full-time job because you're writing content and then you're engaging with people and converting followers into clients. Like it's basically running an online business. It's a lot different than meeting in person, right? Um, so I found that time management was really, really key. Like I had to be really intentional and say devoting certain hours for work and then learning how to walk away from the computer and be with my kids. So I have a rule now. I have to spend 40% of my time for my kids. That's how I won't feel bad about, because you can, like, social media can take over your whole life. Like you don't need to sleep if you're just like online all the time. This is always active, and most of my clients are in the States or Europe. So the time zones, like I could, like it could get out of control if I were to run this business. I could be just like doing it till 4 a.m. So setting some limits and boundaries is definitely important.
Then I was just going to suggest if you're going to sleep with your kids, so that 40% time would also include the sleeping time.
No, it doesn't include the sleeping time. So sometimes it's hard because I love my work. I love talking to, I mostly serve women who has lots of ideas and they don't know how to organize it. And I serve, creatives who wants to get their dreams done, like publishing their books and stuff. And I love talking to them because it inspires me to follow my other dreams, like music and stuff. So I love my job. And sometimes I I have found myself like just sitting in the room working, and I'm like, you know what? Why am I looking at the computer? I've done everything I need to do. Why am I still sitting here when I could be hanging out with my kids outside? You know, that's a constant juggle. Like that's a constant thing.
Setting a timetable to ourselves. And in a way, we're also the role model for our own children as well. I'm sure your girls can see how you follow your dream, how you inspire others. And I think that is a very powerful thing as an entrepreneur, to be the role model for our own children, so that they see how we constantly chase for our dream and work hard towards our passion and have this energy. And I think that would also give a very powerful message to them.
100%.
When I was last year, when I was studying a program at CUHK at Chinese University in Hong Kong, that gave my daughters a lot of inspiration. They were definitely very happy to see mommy going back to school. And I think that also bring a lot of motivation for them to also study hard for themselves as well. I think totally encourage you continue following your dream, and it's a very good discipline to set a schedule for yourself. And I guess it's the same for your husband as well, right? If he's also in the coaching business.
Yeah, it is. And I use myself as a guinea pig because my actual specialty is productivity. So I teach clients all the time how to separate their times. So I make sure I work through my program and that it works. If I can do it, then anyone can do it. That's how I use it.
Yeah, that's very true. So you're also the role model for your clients as well. So this year is definitely a very challenging year for everyone in the world. And as I think a lot of us here are mothers or dads, and do you have any piece of advice for us to cope with our busy life, and how we will be able to achieve more, especially during COVID now? Like any tips you can give us?
So one thing to encourage everybody is that so COVID was really hitting us this whole year, but my business was skyrocketing during the most quarantine time of our time in the whole world. So I definitely think, although it's such a hard time for everyone, we're all going through it together globally. There's also a lot of new opportunities in that. I mean, we have to learn to pivot into some things that work for us, especially the online world. There's a lot of new opportunities, and there's a lot more time for us to learn things and join different self-development programs and stuff like that. So for some people, it's all in the mindset. For some people, this year of COVID is just really, downtime, sitting in the couch, just waiting for the time to be normal again. For some people, it's the opposite. They started their startup, they started their whole new empire because of this. So it's really into how we look at things, right? And as far as for 2021, I really think this month right now, if we haven't planned out the next year yet, this is the time to really dream a little bit. Like, where do we want to see ourselves in 1 year? Because a lot can change. Even like by March, a lot can change. So I would say really sit down and journal out, what is the dream here? Anything is possible. I mean, I met you online. Like, we're talking like anything is possible. Any dream, no dream is too big or too small. So I really encourage everyone to just like, now is the time. I mean, the world is crazy. So why not now? Why not now and just jump out of this comfort zone and let's try something new. And maybe there's something special about each of us that we can serve the world. There's gotta be something.
Yeah. And definitely, like you were saying, there's just so much lockdown, in Hong Kong now we have going into another fourth wave. And with us being at home and seems like having nothing to do, no harm to learn new things and try to pick a new hobby, whether it's start a, I do have a dream to start my own podcast. My challenge is like whether it should be in English or in Cantonese. So it's still a dream. So I actually decided, why don't we just start doing it on Facebook? Because there would be less editing to be done, and we can just swap and change to Cantonese or English depending on the guest, and just start from there. And I do think it's a good way to give yourself a little challenge during times when things are kind of locked down and and you're not as busy. So thank you for your great tips. And it seems like this is the perfect time because we're stepping into the last month of the year. Okay, so last but not least, we in this series of Boss Mom, we like to ask this for every one of our guests. We believe that mothers have superpower, and so that allows us to achieve a lot more. What is that superpower in you as a mother?
So it sounds like there's actually two questions here. What is the current superpower? And then what would my superpower be if I had a really, really big one, right? So I think my stories and my experiences, my past is my superpower currently. That I really think that like I am that hero to my kids because of my stories and my experiences. And then if I were to have a superpower, I would love to be able to heal heal my kids and give them a power of love and healing. That would be a really, really good superpower to have as a super mom.
But I do see that in you already. You're already giving inspiration to others and try to support other who wants to achieve more, and also a very loving mother as well. So it's a superpower that you already have, Maggie.
Thank you. You're a really good mentor. Like, you've taught me and encouraged me so much. Seriously. So
thank you. And I think that's the whole thing about being in a community, and I do see that's in a way a superpower in all mothers, that we seem to have this special connections as mothers and have this bonding that we can support each other.
Yeah.
So thank you for being with us tonight, Maggie. And we look forward having you to come back again. And we'll continue having different guests every Wednesday at 9:30 Hong Kong time in the evening when all the kids are supposedly be in bed. And so we could have a little bit of chat on Facebook. So thank you once again, Becky, and wish you all the best and Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Yes, it's an honor to be here. I'm so excited.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Bye.